Hey everyone, Brandon here with Galloway Precision. Today we're going to go over the installation of the Enoch trigger. That's our newest flat face trigger. That is for the P226, P229 series of pistols. It has a built-in pre-travel stop and an adjustable post-travel. This is going to give you a nice, short, crisp trigger. Alright, so let's go over tools we're going to need. Obviously the trigger itself that you just ordered. We're going to need your bench block, your .50 Allen wrench. I've already taken the post-travel adjustment screw off and applied the VC3 for curing. If you're using VC3, remember you need to put it on the screw and allow it to dry for 15 to 20 minutes. So if you have our trigger installation kit and you're using VC3, go ahead and pause the video, put it on, let it cure. If you try and put it on and then immediately put it in like normal thread locker, it may give you a mechanical lock. You won't be able to get it out. The whole idea of VC3, once it's cured, before you install it into what you're using, it's a thread locker, but it acts like rubber cement. It's reusable. You can adjust continuously, but it's never going to come out. All right, you're going to need a small flathead screwdriver. You need a 1/8 inch punch, and if you have a 226, 229, you already have this. If you've lost it or you don't have one, you can get one direct from Sig, Brownells, Midway, just about everybody sells them. But this is the grip removal tool for the 226, 229. All right, so those are tools we're going to need. Let's go ahead and lock and clear the weapon. All right, so we are visually and physically empty. Drop the magazine, set it off to the side. Let's go ahead and remove the slide, set it off to the side. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the takedown pin out. All right, set it off to the side. Next, go ahead and decock the system. We're going to take our grip removal tool and insert it and twist. Now this can be a little tricky from time to time. It wants to cooperate or it doesn't. Those are usually the two things it does. So make sure if you're having a hard time, reach up in there, look, make sure where the holes are, get everything lined up, and twist. All right, now when you twist to the right, which is what you want to do, don't twist to the left. It's not going to pop the way you want it. Twist to the right. As you can see, it pops off the grip. So on this side, you have your decocker spring. Underneath here you have your trigger bar return spring. So as you're working this off and go to pop it off, keep your thumb over this, because if this pops off, it can be a pain in the butt to put back on. It's not hard, it's just awkward. Alright, we're going to go ahead and remove the tool and the grip, set them off to the side, flip it over, got our trigger return spring. Go ahead and disconnect that just like this from the rear. You'll see the hook. Alright, take that out of the frame. Now we are ready to remove the locking block. Now you can see, some of you aren't going to have this. This is a newer 226. Older ones, there's kind of a knurling on this side. What you want to do is make sure that's up about a 45-degree angle. And then you should be able to just pull it right out, just like that. Okay? It'll come up and slide forward. Up, forward. And you see the spring that fell off the side there. That is your slide stop spring, so do not lose that. Keep it with the locking block. We're going to set it off to the side. All right, now we can go ahead and just push from right to left the trigger pivot pin out. Now here's something to note that's very important. These two notches, we're going to reinstall everything. You got to make sure that your cut or knurled side is facing the left side of the frame. All right, and we'll go over why that's important when we put the locking block back in here in a second. Go ahead and remove your slide stop arm, take it out. Now the way I do this, you can see there's some stuff in the fire control unit that'll get in the way. Go ahead, push forward, but at the same time, because the locking block's not there, you can take your stock trigger and move it back further and push up at the same time, and that'll clear the trigger bar and the trigger all at once, and you can pull it out. Alright, so you're going to take you, this is the prototype Enoch. This was the proof of concept, so we're going to pretend it's our stock trigger and take our new trigger out. Go ahead and put our old trigger in the bag, set it off to the side. All right, so now you take your VC3 post-travel adjustment screw, go ahead and install it. I'm not going to go all the way, we're just going to get it installed enough so we can adjust it. Pardon me, a sip of water here. Alright, so now you're going to take the trigger bar, insert it into the top part, and we're going to go the reverse of what we just did, keeping it at this type of angle, nice tight angle, about 45 degrees, a little bit more. Trigger's going to start dropping in, and this is the part you got to fight with, is that part of the fire control unit that sticks up and engages the sear. Alright, so come on. There we go. And you get the angle right. When you go to push it down, push the trigger down, usually the trigger bar will do that for you. If it doesn't, just make sure that as you're pulling the trigger in, that you've got enough movement like this that you can still move the trigger bar around. Alright, next it's going to be our slide stop spring, or correction, slide stop, the arm itself. Alright, now here's the important part of this. I'll prop that up for a second. When you go to put this in, the bigger channel is going to go to the left side of the frame, and when we go to reinstall the locking block, it needs to be with the cuts down and forward. They need to about a 45-degree angle, just like we took it out. So when you put this pin back in, this is how it should look from the top. You should just barely see the two cuts. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that put in. Now you're really supposed to go from left to right here, but in all honesty, when you're putting the pivot in, it doesn't matter which side you come from. But we'll do it the armor way. Alright, so we've got that. Now you can see, when you're looking, you can see your two cuts. Alright, make sure they're sitting at a 45-degree angle, right about there. Hold your slide stop to the side. Make sure that you've got the slide stop spring, which fell out, in the locking block already. Alright, just like so. Holding your slide stop. And this pen likes to move around on you. Alright, go ahead and take hold of the locking block. Make sure that this part is sitting over the top of the trigger, and then slide it on into place. You can see it's not wanting to cooperate. That's because the pivot's moved on me. Make sure you turn it at the angle you need, and it'll slide right on in. Now, if you get to this point and it's locked up, which can happen, take your Palmer hammer, because what has caused that is the pivot's popped out a little bit, and just give it a tap, and then it'll slide right back down in place where it should. You don't need to hammer it, just tap it. You're just giving it enough to line it back up, because what it's done is it'll pop out to the right. It likes to do that, and then what happens is it catches on the slide stop instead, and it locks everything up. But with the way it is right now, you're good to go. Alright, so that's down in there. This will automatically turn flush just because of the way that it's angled, but I always like to make sure that it's where it needs to be and the locking block can't come out. Alright, so next we're going to take our takedown, and you can see on your takedown pin there's a cut right here that fits right over the spring, just like that. Alright, then turn, and it'll go right into place. Alright, so now we're going to put our trigger return spring back on. You're going to go, the hooked part goes to the trigger bar right here at the very bottom part of the bar, right there. And the stepped part that goes that direction goes into the frame right here. And then you're just going to turn that like that. Everything's hooked up. Now, another part that can frustrate people and cause some issues. When you're putting your grip on, you need to make sure that you concentrate on the side that has the decocker. because what can happen is you go to put this on and it'll hit this part, or if you come up underneath like that and you're messing and prying, you'll pop that off. So go ahead and just open it up enough to where it gets over that. Alright, see how I've got it all the way around? Now we're ready to just squeeze it home, and it locks in place just like it should. Now, before we adjust anything, what I like to do right after I've put the trigger in, it's in double action. Go ahead and pull the trigger, make sure the hammer moves. Make sure the hammer falls, there's no issues. What that is doing is letting us know everything's installed correctly. So now, let's move on to adjustment. Alright, so you're going to pull the trigger and hold it. But you're not going to hold it all the way down. You're going to hold it about halfway like this. And take your 550 and start adjusting your post-travel screw in. Alright. Now, you want to adjust it to the point to where the hammer does not fall. Alright. So now we're going to go back and adjust it 1/4 turn at a time, counterclockwise, until the hammer falls. Then you'll give it one more 1/4 turn and you'll have your post-travel set. And the pre-travel is already built in. The pre-travel stop is. Oh, got my. So you don't have to worry about adjusting the pre-travel. Alright, so there you go, guys. I mean, you've got your post-travel adjusted. You got your pre-travel stop that's built in, so that's it. It stops. As soon as you hear reset, boom, it's done. You're ready. That's immediate take-up. Alright, so now let's go ahead and put the slide back on, because sometimes you do need to adjust it a little bit more. And there it is, guys. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, especially in double action, it stops there. Single action, it stops right there. All right, there's your built-in pre-travel stop. So you've got less than a 1/16 of an inch of take up, and you're there. Makes a huge, huge difference in this platform. Really great on the 229 as well. Makes a big, big difference all the way around. Remember, right now it's on the website for $35 at its introductory price. I think you've got roughly, I'll have to double check, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks, and it's going to jump back up to $45 normal price. So definitely get on the website and get this thing, get it installed, and you'll be very happy. If you've got a P320, this is a great complement. If you have a 226 in addition to a P320, the P320 trigger is great for it, the Paladin, and then the Enoch. I mean, they just complement these weapon systems very well. So that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Be sure, if you've got any questions, feel free to email me at tech, that's TECH, Tango Echo Charlie Hotel at GallowayPrecision.com. Be sure to follow us on social media here on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe below. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be sure to keep a lookout on the Ground Pounder Facebook page. The website is up and running, and parts are going to be getting added here within the next week or two, I want to say, if they're not up already. The newest turn knuckle and everything else, the knuckle for the steering system and whatnot, is going to be up here shortly. So be sure to check that out, and that's going to wrap this up, guys. If you, again, to recap, this is the Enoch trigger installation. If you've got any questions, feel free to email me. Be sure to follow our social media for Galloway Precision and Ground Pounder. And as always, be safe, be accurate, and God bless.